Okay, this is going to be a day in the life of printing with the Fusion3D F410. I'm making this video mostly for Chris, who's thinking about purchasing one of these, and he had a lot of questions. And Chris, I hope that maybe I reinforce some of the things I said and hopefully go over other things that you might be interested in. But anyway, here we go. We're getting ready to do a print. What we're printing is not really that important. The important part is I'm doing a 3-color print to kind of demonstrate how my filament changing and pausing code works. It's not perfect, but it works. And just to show you the process of printing with the Fusion F410. Okay, first thing, we need to get the proper color filament on here first. But first, let me just tell you some of the pros and cons I have with this. Most of them are minor. I have an overhead light here. Can't really see it in the picture, but if I turn it off, that's the default lighting in the F410. It has one strip of LEDs, but better than nothing, but it could be brighter. So I've got an overhead lamp here that I can turn on, and it helps to light it up better. Alright, so now we gotta move the light out of the way. We're gonna open the main compartment here to the filament. It lifts up, stays in place, never had a problem with that. Filament door. We're lifting it, and if you can see that, partially at least. So first thing we're going to do is go to the control panel and we click on Maintain Printer. We go to Filament and we say Unload Filament. And that will heat the filament up, obviously, spit some out, and then start retracting it. Okay, here's a little bit better picture of the filament area. It's heating up. One thing, you got a message here, you can't really see it here on the camera, but pops up telling you that heating print head, please wait. Got an X to cancel it. You can cancel it, because if you don't do that, you can't really see the temperature of what it's getting to. Not that that's real important, but it'd be nice just to be able to see it as it's getting close. Okay, now it's started. It's going to start extruding some of the filament out of the nozzle. Now it's pulling it back. So as it's pulling it back, I kind of keep winding it on the reel. And if you notice up here, if you can see this up here where it keeps tension on the gears, when that drops down slightly, you know the filament is now not under the gear and you can pull it out. So it takes a minute because the Bowden tube is fairly long. There, it dropped down. I can pull the filament out. Like so. I try to keep the filament trimmed at a 45 so I don't have to do it when I'm trying to load it. Got some filament clips here that I printed. So, we need the black filament. This is ASA filament from 3D Tech, by the way. You can see that. So, we're going to load that on. The filament spool deal here is just a small bar. Put it in, slides it on these rails down to a dip. Filament clip off. Yes, I did trim it. Now you lift up on both these tabs here. Just pull both tabs evenly, lift it up. And then there's a hole down in there where you push the filament. It's a little foam pad here that wipes off the filament as it goes through. Push it in till you feel it stop, it won't go anymore, and then you crank the orange knob here until you see about 1 inch of the filament protruding into the Bowden tube. Then you can close this. That should be pretty much done with that. I usually close the filament door at this point. Let me move the like the spool over to the left there. So now, unload filament complete. We've loaded the filament. It's ready to go. Then we just say load filament. Okay, it's heating up. Get ready to feed the filament through. Hopefully you can see that. Not much going on now. The other complaint I have is this message that says heating printhead, please wait. On this one, I was able to cancel it so I can see the actual temperature, how fast it's rising. Not a big deal. Now it started feeding the filament in the tube. Takes a minute, fairly long tube, so it's now pushing the filament through the tube towards the hot end. It will slow down once it gets within about 1 inch or so of the going into the hot end. Right now it's going along at a fairly good clip. This tricolor print gets split. I used the process feature in Simplify 3D to create a process for each color. And basically this, to be able to have it stop, and I try to have it do a wipe in between color changes, which I haven't got down, I don't think, perfectly, but it works. So now it's slowly feeding the filament in. And I don't know if you can see the filaments coming out now, the white. It says on the screen, loading filament, please wait. It extrudes out a good amount of filament to make sure that everything's been purged properly, so you're getting the pure new color. I like to keep this thing on the build plate here as much as possible so it doesn't fall down underneath. Not a big deal, but easier to get rid of it. Still loading filament. There it says filament, load filament complete. Click the X button there now. I'm going to reach in and grab the filament and get it out of there. Now the next step is to start the print. So we need to prep the bed. This is going to be, I'm printing some coasters I downloaded from Thingiverse. They're Nuka-Cola coasters from the game Fallout. Yeah, I'm a gamer. I like Fallout, and a bunch of my friends do. So I'm making some for myself and some of my friends. And I decided to split it up into 3 colors. From advice of my wife, she thought it looked better, and I have to agree. So this is kind of what one looks like. See if I here. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be 4 coasters just going to make it once. So this is the hardest part, I find. Let me get the light over here so I can see a little better. That's about the center. So we're going to have 4. Yeah, just trying to figure out how much Magic Goo or glue stick you need to put down. I'm using Magic Goo here. You need to shake it up really well. So we'll shake. It says shake the heck out of it, so I'm shaking the heck out of it. Of course, now nothing's going on with the printer right now. It's idle. The fan you hear is a circulating fan, which I did buy the filtration option, which gives you a clip that goes on the back where the fan exhausts the air, and it goes through a HEPA filter and a carbon filter, and it does help. I mean, it's not a BOPA filter, but yeah, both the filters about $900, so this was a $50 option. And I'm in a small room here. Okay, I think we shook that up enough. Now I always figure it's best to, I'm probably going to block the camera here. Let's see if I can try and do this. I know about where the center is, about there. So we're going to make sure we go out far enough there. And I always make it way bigger, but I guess bigger than too small is good. I always thought one thing that would be nice not only on this printer, I don't think I've seen it on most printers, is if they had some kind of grid marked off in millimeters, so you kind of knew where the glue stick or Magic Glue was going to go. So I think I've got it covered there. So now the glue stick is on, proper color loaded. We just have to, we're going to close up the top now. Move my light over. And we're going to go back to the control panel. Let's see if I can get a shot of that. I don't know how well that shows up, but we're going to hit the back button here to go back to the main section. And there we have the two big buttons. Print and maintain printer. You have your heater settings here, so we're going to go to print, select file. Now the first thing that comes up is the internal memory, which I don't use. The only way to get files onto that, my understanding, is through a network, and I've never connected this to the network. So we click on that to go to the SD card. I'm starting to get smart and break down my projects into folders. So Nuka-Cola Coasters folder here, and we can scroll down. We need part 1 F410 4X tricolor bottle cap. That's the one we're going to start with. Check to make sure none of these numbers are 0. Once in a while I accidentally load the STL files for the G code. You'll see that here. It would have 0 for layer height and stuff. So all looks good, and we just say print. Okay, got the camera back on the printing bed there. It's heating up now. This is ASA filament, so it runs at 295 for the high end and 100 degrees. It's all in Celsius for the bed. Right now it's just heating up to, it says 250 and 100, but it's getting ready to do the mandatory print bed leveling. It does a 4-corner print bed. There's that foil tape in each corner there. I think you can maybe see it in there. So the whole, once you say print, it's about 10 to 11 minutes before it actually starts to print. It has to heat up the bed and the heads. It has to do the leveling and then reheat again, because it doesn't heat up all the way to printing temperatures for doing the bed leveling. I think it just has to have it so hot for expansion purposes, and then it'll do the bed leveling. So both the head and the bed are increasing in temperature. Right now we're at about 240 for the head and 46 for the, 46 for the bed. Now it's going to go back, spitting out some filament, and I usually try to grab that. Don't know if that's necessary, but I do. Now it's going to go down and check the wipes off the nozzle. Now it stopped heating the hot end and it's just heating up the bed. Actually, the bed's not heating either. It's letting it cool down a little bit before it does. The bed temperature is now about 56 degrees Celsius. If we can get a okay, now it's starting to do the bed leveling. We'll go down to all four corners. Okay, now it's heating the bed. Now we're getting ready to print. So it's going to heat the bed to 100 degrees Celsius. And then it heats the nozzle to the 295. I'm not sure why it does the bed separately and doesn't start heating the head at the same time. I guess it's just a quirk, I don't know. But it heats the bed first, and then it'll start heating the head. Maybe it's to give the chamber a chance to warm up. Could be. I don't know the why on that, but that's what it does. So we'll get the print started, and once it prints a little bit, I'll stop recording and start again just before the color change so you can see the behavior that I've set up in the G code, which goes into the scripting section on Simplify 3D. Again, the timer here tells me elapsed time on the screen. We're at 5 minutes 5 seconds since we hit the print button. Print between almost 11 minutes, I think, for all the procedures to go through. We're heating up the bed now. It's at 78 degrees. And the hot end is not being heated right now, so it's cooling off. It's down to 122. But I think you can see also my light here gives a lot more light. I don't know if you can see my light. I'll try to catch it. I got one of these overhead LED desk lamps that clamps onto my workbench to the left there. So it lights it up a lot better. My eyes aren't the greatest, so more light is better, generally speaking. So again, the bed's still heating now. It's up to 87. This takes a lot longer than the Prusa to heat up, but I attribute that, number one, I'm printing a higher temperature filament. Number two, a lot larger bed than the glass bed rather than a thin metal flexible spring steel sheet. So, you know, it takes a while to get that up to temperature. This is why, if you do multiple, like this coaster, if I did 4 individual ones, each one you would add 10, 11 minutes to each one. So by doing 4, I'm saving almost 45 minutes in time. Actually, I've got a 8 coaster file too, but I'm just going to do the 4 today. It's going to be, the first color is black, which kind of gives the background. Again, this is what we're printing here. and the bottom will be black. Then it'll start red at the base of those interior caps, and then of course the last layer is a 1 layer thick text layer. The bed's almost up to temperature, 97.5. There, it went green now. It goes green when it's up to temperature. It's 97.9. Within a couple degrees of temperature, it'll turn green. And then the hot end starts heating up. The graph will be yellow when you're heating and green when it's to temperature. Let's get a shot of that. There's a shot of the screen. Hopefully you can see the colors in there. Printer's not in the best position for filming in this little room I've got, so pardon me if I get in the way or I don't have the best angles. Do the best we can. Okay, the bed is running at 100.2. Hot end is up to 216, climbing rapidly. We've magic gooed the bed, got the proper color in. Hopefully I'm doing everything right. We're up to almost 250 centigrade on the head now. Gonna print at 295 for ASA. I really love this ASA from 3D Deck. Of course, I haven't printed any other ASA, but it just seems to print nice. And the Magic Goo, hopefully I'll get it on camera, show you how easy it is to take the parts off once you let it cool down. It's just, I had done some of this with glue stick at first, and oh my gosh, it was a nightmare trying to get it off with the scraper. 290 or almost 290 now. Okay, it just turned green. It's spitting out some filament, does a wipe off, and then it goes on to start the print. Doing the skirt first. One thing I notice, sometimes it's hard to tell if the first layer is down flat because the glass with the silver aluminum heated plate below the glass, it's like a mirror. And a lot of times you're looking at it and say, oh, it doesn't look like it's flat on the glass, but when you get down at an angle where you can see, oh, it's flat. So it's just that makes it look like a mirror. So I'll let this run for a little bit. It's not really too noisy. The noisiest thing is just the exhaust fan. It also filters the air running. See if I can get a closer look here. I don't know how well that's coming out, but you can kind of see what it's doing. So I'm going to shut down. I'll be back when the first color change happens. Okay, this should be about ready to do the color change here. We're doing red next. Got the roll ready. So far everything looks good on the print as far as I can tell. Again, it's 4 coasters I'm making. So it's getting ready to do the layer change here. Or the color change, I should say, filament change. Should be happening any time now. Show you that process. It'll demonstrate the code I put in to pause the print. It should move the hot end front left corner. And then I can go in and do a filament change via the control pad. Here it goes right now. It went front left corner and it's now paused. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get that, before I forget, that little ball of filament out of there so it don't cause a problem. Now we're going to go in and menu on the maintain printer, filament, unload the filament. Gotta lift up the filament door. Lifted up the filament door. Oh, it's coming out now. Backing off now, so I'm spinning the filament roll to pick up the filament so it doesn't get tangled up. As soon as that top tension part drops down, I know the filament's not underneath the gears anymore and I can pull it out. There the gear dropped. Pull the filament out. Oops. Get the red roll of ASA. I hope you're seeing that. Zoom out a little bit here. Okay, so get the little tube here. Filament turn it the right way. Put some light on the subject here. Take off my filament clip. Flip open the filament door, feed it into the little hole up there till it stops going and start turning the knob. I hope you can see this. Till it comes out about 1 inch into the Bowden tube on the other side. Close the door down. Cancel the unload filament complete. And hit load filament. Switch it over here. You can see what's going on. I'm going to reach in and grab that filament that's hanging there right now. There's a okay. So we're waiting for it to load the filament. And I'm going to try and catch the piece of filament as it moves towards the print. This is where I wish I could get a better wipe. The initial wipe works good. I've never had a problem with that. But the code I put in to do the wipe between the layer changes, it seems like the filament, it just drags the filament over. I'm not sure why. Guess I can go ahead and close this filament door down. Get more light on the subject, pardon my passing in front here. Your filament's been speaking out. It should go to red. Yeah, we're starting to see a little red. I try not to open the door during a print any more than I have to try and keep as much heat in, but I've never had any issues so far. Okay, now the screen is telling me filament load complete. I'll cancel that. I'm going to reach in and take this out of here. Now go back and we print part 2. Go to the print button, select file. Tricolor for part 2. Now this is where I'm going to try and catch it when I hit print. Okay, I hit print. It's raising up. Yeah, I did a pretty good wipe that time. Hope you caught that. Alright. Let that print for a minute. Print the red layer now for a while, so I'll be back once that next change takes place. Just turn on the camera again just to kind of show you how it's printing the red bottle caps in the center of the coaster there. Everything seems to be going pretty good. We'll check back when it's ready to do another color change. Okay, this should be getting ready for the final filament change, color change. It's looking good so far, you can see in there. So it should park in the front left. There it goes. Stops. Maintaining temperature. You want to maintain printer, filament, unload filament. So we're going to change this filament. Starting to back it out. We wait till this gear here drops down, telling us that the filament is no longer under the gears. We'll pull it out. Okay, there it dropped down. Pull this out now. Now we switch to the white ASA filament. There it is, 3DX Max. This is for the lettering on top of the cap. It's only one layer. Lift this up. Pull off on the clip. Feed it into the hole here for filament. So it stops, hits the gears, turn the gears, so you get approximately an inch out into the tube on the other side. Close this down. filament. Close the filament door now. Put the camera back on the printer. Says loading filament, please wait. Go ahead and grab this piece of filament here, get it out of the way. I guess I can move the light back over here, give us a little more light. Okay, the filament's starting to extrude, pushing out the red that was left in there. Load filament completed. Grab this. And then we'll go back and pick the final print. Three. Get ready to grab the white filament. Yeah, actually it wiped pretty good this time. I don't know why sometimes it doesn't. But the other thing I noticed on my code is that during the change the head shuts off and starts to cool off. It doesn't cool off a lot. It doesn't seem to have affected the printing. But I would like to try and figure out how to keep that head heated. I think I know how to do it. So matter of fact, I already made some changes, and we'll see how that works out. I'll do a sample print later with one coaster. Try it. So that is pretty much it. Here's a little better shot of what it's actually doing. Putting the lettering on top, like I said, it's one layer. White ASA. And that'll do it for now until we pull out the finished product. Okay, it's printing on the last coaster, the text. It should be just about done. there it goes. It lowers the bed down. And we have 4 coasters. Look pretty good. Now we'll let them cool off and I'll show you how easy it is to get them off the bed with the magic. Alright, dinner is eaten and the bed is cooled. Let's see how easy these are to take off. Oh, look at there. Magigoo is magic. Not focusing very well. Let's see if I can. Anyway, they're done. Magigoo did its trick. I now have 4 Nuka-Cola coasters. They look pretty darn good. So that's the state and how I use the Fusion F410. I can give you a little view of my used to be my man cave. Now I call it the mad scientist room. Fusion 410 is there along the wall. I bought the Fusion 410 cabinet. And if I can do this without tripping. This is my workbench. Silicone mat work area there. And then over here is the Prusa i3 MKS. It looks like it's done printing its part too. It's another mini nuke I'm printing for my grandkids. Down below is where I keep two plastic tubs that have weather sealing on them. I keep all my filaments in there along with a dehydrator in there. Seems to work very well. And oh, there's the Palette 2 Pro. I really haven't got into that real heavy yet, but I need to. So this is my work area, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.